Hey, Triple Ranking, what's going on, y'all? I'm back up in this thing. I'm trying to get the lie to get right. I've been having some interference, but let's see if I can make it work now. All right.
Like, it's noticed. I won't say it again as long as two people need it, change. Thank you right there, one change.
Welcome back to Scandalous Los Angeles TV, where we expose the exposers. Today, we finally get to hear Porky speak on something we all explanation for why his name was changed. Expected. Porky plays it off like he acting completely oblivious. And very pointed out that Porky's name was changed. Reggie made it crystal clear that his name, Reggie Wright, wasn't changed. That small detail speaks volumes, because Reggie's implying that the only names that were changed in the movie were the ones tied to cooperation, Stutterbox, and CS2-back. You can read between the lines. The suggestion is clear. Names were only to protect informants. Salute to Reggie for even asking Porky this question. Now watch closely as Porky tries to spin it, dancing around the truth, downplaying the implication, and pretending like it's all some big misunderstanding. Keep your ears open. This part says more than he thinks.
Gene changed his name in the movie. Okay. Yeah. Gene. No, I know what he said crazy. But I don't want to answer that question.
Reggie is saying he doesn't want to ask him that question, because he's the one who told us Porky's name was changed in the first place. Reggie said he didn't want to ask that question.
Wow.
But trust me, if he didn't want to ask it, he wouldn't have asked it. This is how you know Reggie has had enough of good old Porky.
This is crazy. And that voice, yeah.
Why did Greg change his name in the movie when he asked him? He don't know.
Because he had a format.
He don't know. They don't know. They changed everybody's name.
Did you see the confused look on Porky's face? Like he had no clue what was going on? Watch how Reggie just sits there and lets him lie and look stupid. Before finally coming in and correcting him.
Nigga, the dude that played Uncle Jerome, who pulled up in the Rolls Royce at the donut shop, is Stutterbox. They changed everybody for the days of the movie.
Whenever Porky finds himself in a pickle, the first thing he does is scream Stutterbox.
Oh, he go back to the
Crazy
book.
part about that
Oh,
is
he's not
there
talking
were
about the
only
book.
two people's names that were changed.
Murder rap book.
Porky's and Stutterbox. How convenient for Porky to perfectly call out the one other person.
You don't see me doing nothing but driving the truck.
It's crazy, man. Hold on, y'all. I ain't got, give me hold on, listen. Y'all, I ain't got, give me hold on, listen.
That magazine, that's what it was. He ain't take the magazine, bro, what you looking for? I don't know. They some people named it, then they changed, and they did change some, but to what point is he had.
Stutterbox told Greg Kading that Porky had weapons in Stutterbox told Greg Kading that Porky had weapons in his home. Selling guns to Crips so they can kill each other.
Yeah, like, so this right here.
collaborate with the war, yes, a man comes in to get told, well, who gave you all the whack, comes in with you.
I mean, it did. It sound like a real interesting, like was this shit really real, man?
He's even claimed to have supplied entire neighborhoods.
They know who they is. Oh, so you giving T-Ways credit or T-Ways done? Always, yeah. What it on neighborhoods, that is on there. What it on neighborhoods, that is on there. What it on neighborhoods, that is on there.
So when law enforcement showed up at his house with a search warrant, looking specifically for firearms, and actually found them, suddenly, Box's tip doesn't seem so far-fetched. What makes this even more damning is the timing. Porky was already in the middle of fighting a felon in possession case in Texas, one that was later dismissed in the interest of justice, a phrase often used when someone is offered their cooperation in return. But at the time of the raid, he was still vulnerable, and the feds were looking for exactly that, leverage. They wanted something solid to hold over his head, something they could use to get him to flip on Marion Knight. And finding illegal firearms in the home.
Goddamn Marion Knight.
He would take your car. And I see Mark, no. Mark tried to shut the freeway down.
I told the dog.
But they said he wouldn't talk. Yeah, y'all said he was cool. He wouldn't talk to you. The paperwork.
So Box just told Porky that in the paperwork it says that he tried to call Del Dog, and Del Dog did not want to talk to him. When you read the paperwork, the person that Del Dog did not want to talk to was a guy named Back, who was labeled as confidential source number 2 in the paperwork. Not only that, but in the paperwork, it was Mark Stevens
This is why you see
who was calling Dog asking him. But not only that, I think he's finally beginning to understand that the movie he's watched over 1 million times was really the beginning of his demise. Now let's watch Porky go to his favorite deflect whenever the movie gets put up.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they did it. Really, all you gotta do is look at it. They did a truck robbery, played no. Everybody knew.
That truck scene Porky claimed he told us about.
Given out the track in Mexico.
So they said whack. It shows he was actually telling in the movie from that part, that scene. I don't know if y'all seen the Murder Rap movie. Yeah, it's a good movie. It's about Tupac and Biggie. Where y'all tapping in from? Where y'all tapping in from? What city?
Good night's just been up here this morning, and if y'all haven't heard it, you should listen to it. Everything we've been saying about this for about 12 years. And now, it's real dangerous for Suge. It's real dangerous for Suge Knight right now. You know, Reggie for the sheriffs has a lot of ties into the prison complex, the prison industrial complex. And that's Reggie Wright Sr. Jr. just said, if I let you get out of prison, which was a veiled threat for sure. It's a veiled threat for sure.
Go take your meds so you can come home. You don't want to die in there. You don't want to die in there.
Welcome back to Scandalous Los Angeles TV, where we expose the exposers. Day 3 of the Reggie versus Marion saga, and it's getting nasty. React to a video where Simon told Reggie that every girl Reggie didn't say it. Simon said it. I just reacted to a public like everybody else.
That's great.
But this is one of content he's trying to strike.
That's crazy. How you gonna have it on your page, but try to get his from?
Of feedback. Is that?
He didn't work directly for that role, but he had a security company called Right. Directly for that role, but he had a security company called Right. Who security for that role was officers or guys with PTSD. We looked to him.
Too many times was I told that I had to choose between being an athlete.
That Marion says was one of Kenner's favorites.
So ultimately, it's fascinating stuff, because I remember this all happening in real time. It's so fascinating to hear you talk it all through in this way. It's like it's a murder mystery episode. But ultimately, I've got two questions. Do you believe Diddy had anything to do with it? Because it sounds to me like you're more convinced that Snoop Dogg had more to do with it. Was Diddy involved at all, do you think? And if it wasn't him, then who do you think ultimately ordered that hit?
This is the thing. This is what I do know. I know TBD, who I've been knowing since little Pop Warner football. TBD says that Puffy and them approached them and gave them money. TBD says that he go to prison for, this is worse. TBD says he go to prison for the Tupac murder. Reggie Wright Jr. gonna go to prison for Biggie's murder. So all these things going back and forth. You know, who knows what? Absolutely what? What we do know, money was paid out. What we do know, according to police, that it's in the cricket count. You gotta remember.
Did you ever ask Diddy directly if he'd been involved?
Well, that question would be no. Since all this happened, I never had a situation to have a conversation with Puffy. Majority of the time Puffy see me, he going out the back door or going down the street somewhere. Only time that I ever had a conversation with Puffy, and it wasn't even a real conversation. I was at the Roosevelt Hotel having dinner. Somebody came over to my table and said, Prince, I want you to come watch his show right now. I said, Prince performing? I said, yeah. And Prince is a real gangster. Prince, he likes the bullshit. So I go in, and they sit me at a table with Puffy, Nas, two other people. Prince playing his guitar, and he walked to the table and looked at me, looked at Puffy, and started laughing. You can tell he played the whole thing. I know, I lean over and tell Puffy a few words, and before I could finish my sentence, Puffy gets up, his people gets up, and they cover him with coats and run him out the hotel. I'm not saying Puffy not guilty. Because he's in prison, he can get all baby all he wants. Puffy didn't have sex. He hire up people in the industry. Now, I'm not talking about women. It's a big world, but it's a small circle. Ray J and Puffy definitely lovers. It was a murder for hire hit. The truth, the real truth, it's named Tupac.
So do you believe that Diddy and or Snoop Dogg were directly involved in that shooting?
And I could and release that audio. Release that audio.
Hey y'all, I'm gonna come back.